Se llaman informal commands, mandatos informales. So, se usa con amigos, niños, familia, etc. And we use them all the time. This is like the first thing, and I mentioned this when we were learning our ustedes commands. This would be the first thing you're going to pick up if you live abroad in a Spanish-speaking country, because they're used so much more frequently than we use them in English-speaking culture. We don't say, can you please pass me the salt? We say, pásame la sal, por favor. And they use them so much more frequently than we do in English. So you would learn these very quickly, depending on where you are. You wouldn't learn these informal commands very quickly in Costa Rica because they really only use usted. In Colombia, they really only use usted. But in España, se usa tú muchísimo. Entonces, depende. Ok, entonces, tengo ejemplos. Prefiero darles ejemplos para verlos. Y empiezo con los negativos, porque los mandatos informales negativos son más o menos exactamente iguales al subjuntivo. Y ustedes van a ver, ¿ok? El contexto es la clase de español, las reglas, ¿no? Recomendaciones, pero más fuertes, mandatos. Por ejemplo, no hables inglés, ¿no? No hables inglés. So what's it saying? Don't what? Speak English, or solo un poquito para clarificar, pero no hables inglés. When you say don't speak English, who are we talking to again? You. So, la forma de tú, una persona, like un compañero de clase. No hables inglés. Or no escribas mensajes de texto durante la lección. Or no escribas en tu computadora durante la lección. No escribas. ¿Entienden? No escribas, es obvio. No vayas al baño durante la lección. Ugh, Pablo, perfecto ejemplo. Actually, I should have like una foto de Pablo en el baño, if he would let me. Be perfecto. No vayas. So what's this saying? Don't what? Don't go. No vayas. Exactamente igual al subjuntivo. No converses con tus compañeros. Cuando la profesora habla, no converses. No conversar, converses. Y tus, porque estamos hablando en la forma de tú. ¿Ok? Converses. Y no le digas las respuestas a un compañero durante un examen. ¿Entienden? ¿Tiene sentido? No le digas las respuestas. What's saying? Don't what? Close. Well, basically, I mean, all of that is perfectly fine to interpret. But just to focus on, ¿cómo se dice? Digas. Don't say or tell. Don't tell whom? Your classmate, right? So le goes with compañero. No, refers to compañero. No le digas. No hagas tu trabajo en Google Translate. No hagas. Es el verbo exactamente igual a los mandatos. Perdón, el subjuntivo, ¿no? Hacer, hagas tu trabajo, porque estamos hablando en la forma de tú. ¿Entienden? No hagas. Okay, so, para resumir, todos los mandatos informales negativos, ¿cómo se conjugan? Exactamente igual al subjuntivo, ¿no? Go to the O, drop the O, change it to the opposite of what you know. So we're not learning a new conjugation. This is not a new grammar form. It conjugates just like the subjunctive. So why is this classified as negative and formal to commands? If the verb itself is exactly like the subjunctive, Why is it categorized differently in our textbook? Why are we learning something quote unquote new today? What is a negative informal command? What did we just say? No hagas tu trabajo in Google Translate. No converses con tus compañeros durante la lección. So all these tips I just went through in sus papeles, what are these saying? Don't do this, don't do that, right? So the context is what's different. Subjunctive is a same verb conjugation, completely different context. Remember, mandatos are mucho más directos. Paga al contado, pay with cash, or paga la cuenta, por favor, or pásame la sal, por favor. So all of those are two commands, and we wouldn't use a subjunctive if we were just asking for the salt, you know, es necesario que tú me pases la sal. You would never say that. So even though the verb conjugation is the same, the context is what's different, okay? Fácil, porque es exactamente igual. También, y recuerden, chicos, these are negativos, okay? Because I'm going to present the other ones here in a second, and they're muy diferente. This is when you're saying don't. No digas la verdad. No hagas la cama. No oigas la música. No pongas la mesa. What do all of these verbs have in common? We've seen them before. It's not new. They're all what kind of verbs? Go. That's why we have to go to the yo. Tener, yo tengo, no tengas. No? No tengas, whatever. Mi libro. Okay? Digas, hagas, oigas, pongas. Digas la verdad. What's that saying? No digas la verdad. Don't what? Don't tell the truth. And you know in English we say, oh no she didn't. That expression. In Spanish, it's, idiomatic. So in Spanish, the closest thing I could relate to that is when people have the same reaction like, no. In Spanish, they say, no me digas. No me digas. That's like, it doesn't mean, oh no, she didn't. But it's saying, don't what? Don't tell me. Like, no me digas. Like, really? That's an expression in Espanol you would hear people say in response to something super scandalous. No salgas con tus amigos, no tengas paciencia, no traigas la comida, no vengas a la fiesta. Salgas, tengas, traigas, vengas. Go in the yo, no? Yo salgo, tú no salgas, or no salgas tú. Don't leave. No salgas clase temprano. But these are negativos, chicos. Negativos. Ok. Esto es una referencia para el sitio y también el examen. Y para repetir lo que sabemos, ¿cómo se llama ella? ¿Cuál es su nombre? Cecilia, ¿no? Entonces los verbos car, tocar, sacar. So if you don't want somebody to touch you, you would be like, no me toques. No me toques. No saques. Car changes to QUE if we're telling somebody that we know not to do something. No me toques. For example, you might need to know that one. Don't touch me. No me toques. Okay? Por ejemplo, ¿cómo se llama él? Jorge. No? Pagar, no pagues. That should say two. Too much copying and pasting over time. Tu dinero. I had to change it to two because why? Why is su incorrecto? Well, actually, your money. It should be two.
No, I'm saying Sue.
Yeah, right. You're saying why su isn't correct. Sí. Muy bien, Javier. No pagues con tu dinero. Yo pago, Jorge. No pagues con tu dinero. Tú eres pobre. More spelling changes. No almuerces en McDonald's frecuentemente porque es comida artificial, ¿no? Or no conduzcas tu carro cuando escribes mensajes de text, ¿no? Conduzcas, reduzcas. exactamente igual al subjuntivo. Lo importante es el contexto y que son mandatos negativos, ¿no? Cargar, zar, y también conducir, reducir, por ejemplo. Y completamente irregulares. No estés en clase, no estés preocupado, no vayas al bar, no sepas, saber no sepas. No te vayas. People, hopefully somebody, if you're in a relationship in Spanish and maybe you're getting broken up with, you might say, no te vayas, no te vayas, estoy triste, te amo, no te vayas. When I put the reflexive pronoun on there in the to form, I'm saying what? This is a negative command saying, please, don't what? Don't go, don't leave, no te vayas, no? Romántico, Dia de San Valentín. But, broken corazón roto, no te vayas, te amo. You would see that in like a telenovela, probablemente. Sí, no seas impaciente, no seas descortés, don't be rude, no seas antipático, y no veas, ¿no? No veas otras culturas de ojos parciales. No veas Netflix toda la noche, por ejemplo. Irregulares, completamente. Y exactamente igual al subjuntivo, pero negativo, ¿no? Ok, y pronombres. No me digas. También reflexivos. No te acuestes, no te levantes, no te duermas en clase. O pronombres de complemento directo. No lo leas en clase, no las copies. Okay? Where does the pronoun go with negative commands again? It goes right before the verb. Exactly. Because we're going to see the affirmative to commands, and the pronouns are a little different. We've learned where the pronouns go with commands before, so it's not new information, but they are different. But the negative ones, they go right before them. Por ejemplo, no te acuestes tarde. Okay. No vamos a hacer a ver qué hora es. No, yo quiero repasar todo porque tienen tarea super sitio que va a cubrir todo. Ok, so ahora mandatos informales, pero para clarificar, ¿entienden claramente ustedes mandatos informales negativos? ¿Entienden? ¿Los entienden? Ok, porque ahora vamos a aprender cómo se dice do. Like, you don't usually always say do, unless you're saying do your homework. But listen, or, get out your book, or eat your lunch, por ejemplo. Pero otra vez, la clase de español, que necesitamos hacer recomendaciones. Habla español, por ejemplo. ¿Comprenden ustedes habla español, no? Habla español. What am I telling you to do? Speak Spanish, but who am I talking to? You. Two. So just one person. So you're in your ampliación and your partner's speaking English and you're like, no hables inglés, habla español, because you'll get a bad grade. Or these would be good examples if you wanted to teach your dog Spanish, if you get a puppy. People do. Actually, and one of my nannies, she had the cutest little dog, and she was from Colombia, and so she only spoke Spanish to her puppy. But she used usted commands with her because they only use usted in Colombia. But if you wanted, a command for a dog is what? Like this. Speak, right? And your dog will bark. You could teach it habla, habla, and hopefully they'll bark. But you can't do that to a dog really probably, can't teach an old dog new tricks. So you probably would have to do it with puppy maybe.
Why does it not have an E on the end?
Buena pregunta. Okay, so that was going to be the next thing I asked. Why does it not have an E on an N? Let's look at the grammar. So, habla español. We all know what it means. If somebody said it to you, you would understand what they were saying. You would hopefully respond in Spanish. But looking at the verb conjugation, habla español, what's up with that? Because for literally the past 3 months, practically, we've been going to the O, dropping the O, and changing it to the opposite of what we know. And now all of a sudden, what's our infinitive of habla? Hablar. Hablar is our infinitive. It's an AR verb, and Anna's looking at the ending is a. So who are we talking to again here? You, like a child or your dog or a classmate, or you're in Spain where they really use to a lot. So why is the verb ending with the letter A? Yes, because we're telling somebody to do something. Exactly. And it's somebody we know, and it's the to form. Ordinarily, like if I wanted to ask you, do you speak Spanish? I would say, ¿hablas español? Oh, sí, tú hablas español. That's just a statement. Hablas, to form. But it doesn't have the S on here because what am I saying? I'm not saying, do you speak Spanish? Or, oh, yes, do you speak Spanish? No, that's not what I'm saying here. I'm saying what? Speak Spanish. It's a command. So when we form those two commands, it's just like the to form without what letter at the end? S. That's all you're doing. However, for the past 3 months, you haven't been doing that. So now you got to go back to what you know. Spanish 101.
Is it one person or multiple?
One person. One person, you just drop the S. Put it in the to form, drop the S. So verbs like dormir that are stem-changing verbs, and the to form is duermes. But let's say you're babysitting a kid in a Spanish-speaking country, and you know it's hard to get kids to go to sleep at night. You're like, duerme por favor.
Jesus calling me.
What's that? Oh, Pablo?
Yeah,
Yes, put him on speaker. Pablo,
what's up, dude?
¿dónde estás?
He's making a come.
You better come quick. Rápidamente, Pablo.
You got 10 minutes, bro.
Okay. Ben, Pablo. To command. I'm going to use a to command example perfectly for Pablo right now. Gracias, Javier. Escribe. So, hablar is an AR verb. Escribir is an IR verb. Escribe. Oraciones originales en tus composiciones. Careful on the superset. You know how you submit your answer and you got the main concept right, but then you got the answer wrong because you missed a little detail. Super annoying. This would be something you might accidentally miss. Tu familia, tus amigos, tus oraciones, tu tarea. Make sure your possessive adjective, your, is tu or tus. Okay, careful with that. Escribe. Haz la tarea del supersitio. Irregular. Completamente irregular. What do you think haz means? Do. Do your homework. So what's the infinitive of haz? Hacer. Haz la tarea. It's so totally weird. But I'm profe zeta, and it has a zeta, so hopefully you remember. Also, when they're really weird, sometimes we remember them when they're super weird. Normally on tests, students don't have an issue with us doing that pretty quickly because it's so weird. Ve al laboratorio de CSL. Pablo, ve a clase, por favor. No vayas al baño. Ve a clase. What do you think ve, el infinitivo de ve is? Ir. So what's this saying? Ve al laboratorio. Go. And they're not vulgar in Latin America whatsoever. People do not cuss very openly in Latin America, but in Spain they do because it's more European, you know? So I learned this in Spain when I first studied abroad there. Vete a la mierda. This is like muy inapropiada, but it's a good command because mierda is like caca. So it's not translated literally into English what mierda really means in English. Número dos, por ejemplo. But vete a la mierda is go to hell. And ve is our command, ir, are two commands saying to go somewhere, but it's reflexive. Go to hell. Just in case you need to know that. Vete a la mierda, or somebody says it to you. Now, some students say, can we just learn a bunch of like inappropriate expressions? I promise you, you will understand, not maybe literally what somebody's telling you in Spanish if you get cussed out, but context-wise, you'll know it's negativo. You don't need to learn a bunch of words. You will know when they're being used. It is very obvious. Participa. Participa. Participar, participa. Forma de tu, though. This is telling somebody to do it. Participa frecuentemente en la clase de español. Or llega Margarita, Carly. Es tu ejemplo. I know. I know. Say, yo sé. You know, I was just thinking this morning, like, I wish we had thought about this. Well, I wish we had thought about all this last spring or last fall, because we could have totally requested in advance. Like, if we had thought about it, like, oh, class is at 10 next spring.
Yeah, that would have been a game changer.
I know. Well, me too, because I gotta get 2 kids out the door. I've got a baby. I got a nanny. I got a dog. It's so hard. So hard. I know.
We just roll out of bed.
I know. Well, I told Hispanic Studies never a 9 a.m. snap class. Never. Because some students, I had 2 students one semester 2 in one class had narcolepsy. And it would have been impossible for them to make the 9 o'clock class. It was hard for them to make the 10 o'clock class. And then I have students who are on medication, and they would have to like set their alarm, take their medication so it was kicked in for their 9 a.m. class. You know, there's just more variables. But 10's a little early too. Llega, well, everybody at least knows what this means, right? Mm-hmm. So notice this is a gar verb. So if I was like, no llegues tarde, if this was a negative command, I would have to remember to change it. But notice the cargar zar rule doesn't apply when you're telling somebody to do something. Pagar, paga. Llegar, llega. There's no issue with, since we're not switching the ending, with the gar conjugation. It's just llega. Llega a tiempo. Pablo! Hola, buenos días. Gracias. Con 6 minutos más de clase. Okay, so what do you do to form an affirmative informal to command to tell somebody to do something like, Pablo, come to class? What do you do? On Fridays, really, that's the problem. What do you do? What is a informal affirmative, which is like the positive to command? How do you conjugate this? It's just like what? To form, indicative, except for it doesn't have what letter at the end? S. So in a Snap Spanish class years ago, I was like, please think of a rhyme. Go to 2, drop the S, now you're done, no need to guess. That was like 2 years ago. One of my Snap Spanish students was like, I got one, like in the middle of class. I was like, gracias. It's just like the indicative without the S. It's the indicative of the L form. You can think about it like that. So this is basically the indicative. These are going to be the harder ones for you. Which is weird because you learned this and did this for like a year and a half straight until we started, but we've done for 3 months almost the subjective, so. All right, and then we have irregulares. As, ve, ten, di ponsal ven. So like, Pablo, ven. Well, actually, so it was correcto, but ven a clase, los viernes, Pablo. Or Carly, ven a clase a tiempo. So, ven sal pon di 10 and as are what kind of verbs? What's the yo form of poner? Pongo. What's the yo form of salir? Salgo. What's the yo form of venir? Vengo. What's the yo form of tener? Tango. So these are all go verbs. We just don't have what 2 letters on the end? G-O. Exactly. So, if it's a go verb, unless it's as and ir, all the rest, all the other go verbs, you just drop the geo. So, delay. Delay. What do you think delay means? I use this with my kids. They know commands in Spanish pretty well. They don't really know a ton of other Spanish, but they know when I'm telling them a command. They know when I'm telling them to do something, and I'll say like, dile adios, dile hola. Yeah, tell them. Tell him or her. Like if I see you, well now I've got 2 kids, so I'd use plural commands. But if I just have one of my kids, I'd say, dile hola. And they'll say hola sometimes, or they're too shy. They don't say anything. They're like, Mom, you're embarrassing me. Stop speaking Spanish. Okay, so ven, come to her house frequently. Okay? Los irregulares. Y chicos, muy importante, los pronombres. So you don't have to use the pronouns on the test, but they're on the super site. Have you ever heard cálmate? Or you've probably heard cállate? Cállate. Have you ever heard cállate? That is a command. Somebody is telling you specifically what? To what? Be quiet. It's be quiet or shut up, either one. They don't have a word for shut up, so people use it in that context. Cállate. Cálmate. What do you think cálmate means? Calm down. Yeah, cálmate. Acuéstate. Léelo. Cómelas. Bébela. Invítalos. So with affirmative commands, and we learned this last fall, the pronoun goes where in relationship to the command? After it, like attached to it. And when you attach a command that has 2 or more syllables, you have to add emphasis when you say it. Cállate, cálmate, invítalos, acuéstate. So the pronoun, or excuse me, the accent mark is going to go on the second to last syllable. Dile doesn't need an accent mark because di is 1 syllable. But acuesta is 3 syllables. So it goes on the middle one, the second to last one. Acuéstate. And you would recognize this if somebody said this to you. Okay, chicos, bueno, tienen mucha práctica con los mandatos afirmativos y negativos en el super sitio.